Hi honeys, it's your Queen Bee. So it is another month review, and it is another terrible month. And I don't know if you guys can tell, I am just out of energy. I really don't want to cry like I did last month. Even though I have like a good reason to, I mean, my whole month, my whole like year has been so terrible, but I've been trudging through the best I can. And at this point, I don't know how I even wake up in the morning. So yeah, October, it's just awful. I used to love October because Halloween, and I love dressing up, and I love candy, and just everything was so fun about it. I've always loved October, and I really wanted this month to be a really good month. I had a lot of expectations. I had a lot of things I was going to do. I had so much planned. I had just everything ready and just ready to go, ready to be done. I had a plan for every day, but I didn't get to do hardly any of it. And it's already November 1st, as of me filming this. So, October, basically nothing happened except for the most devastating loss I think I have ever had to deal with. So if you don't know, last month, September, my dog Molly passed away. She got hit by a car, and she was only 2. She's our little poodle puppy, and I think I had just started to kind of get over that and try to move past it. But on the 16th of this month, my dad had a heart attack and he passed away. I never thought I'd be in this position. I really didn't want to cry. I kind of was joking to myself. I was like, oh, I'm not gonna cry. I'm all cried out because honestly, at this point, I feel so emotionally numb. I just kind of feel like I'm a husk every day, just kind of trudging along. And I hate it so much. I was also kind of joking to myself, oh, you know, I'm gonna be like Trisha Paytas, just like on the kitchen floor crying. But instead I'm in the spare room in a corner. And it sucks. It really sucks. My heart is so broken. And I don't know what else to do. I had a really good day on the 15th. I did my leopard makeup, and I was going to post it for that next Friday, whatever it was, I forgot. But I did my leopard makeup, and I made a video. It's on my channel. I just posted a week late. I took a week off of basically everything. I just couldn't. I've been so numb. And I had pork chops that night. And everything was just so great. It felt like this month was really like becoming the best of 2020. It really felt like, oh my god, I think I can get through this year. I think I can get through this month. I think that my life will be fine and I'll be okay. And I got a call that morning on the 16th. And it was my mom. She said, I need you to get up. You need to get your clothes on. Just get ready. I'm coming to pick you up. Get ready now. It's urgent. It's like urgent. It's super important. You just have to get up. Just don't ask questions. Because I ask a lot of questions. I always say, why this, how, why me, basically, just all the time. And she hung up. I couldn't even get a word in. So I got ready. I started texting my brother. I said, hey, what's going on? Mom called me. And again, my family doesn't like to tell me things because I'm very emotional, and I get it. But I am the crybaby of the family. So, and I don't take things lightly because all my life I've kind of been the tough person. I mean, for God's sakes, I'm in the army. But around my family, I can't not cry. My whole family knows me as a crybaby, so I'm okay with it. And I just remember my brother, he said, just go with mom. Just go with mom. Don't ask questions. Just go with mom. And I said, where's dad? Is he okay? And because I just felt something was off. I felt like, and at this point, I didn't know that my dad had just got a new phone because his phone had cracked like 3 days prior. And I didn't know he got a new one. Otherwise, I would have been texting and calling him. And I really regret not knowing that he had got a new phone. I don't know why no one told me. Maybe I was just supposed to figure it out. But I really, really wish that I could have told him that night that I love him and good night. But I didn't get to. And I think that's what really hurts the most. Because I didn't get to talk to him last, like everyone else. So, my mom comes and gets me. And before we even start to go, we're in the car and she says, Melissa, your dad passed away. And I think I just shut down. And I kept thinking, no, he didn't pass away. There was no way. There's no way that my dad could have passed away. And I said, how? How and why? Where? Everything. And my mom said, I don't know. But, we got there. And he was a couple hours away. He was at work. And he's a welder. So, he travels for work. And he has a camper. And they were staying at a campground. And they were... It was just there. And I just remember the whole car ride just crying and saying, no, there's no way. I kept trying to convince myself he's not dead. He's okay. Maybe he's just in the hospital because I didn't know where we were going. And my mom just didn't say anything. I was just crying. I was trying to comfort myself, I guess, and tell myself there's no way he passed. There's no way. And I just kept thinking, no, he's in the hospital. And I kept thinking maybe it was a car wreck. I just kept thinking worst case scenario. I don't know. I just didn't think of anything that actually happened. I honestly kept telling myself it's fine, he's okay. And I keep telling myself that, and I know that's not healthy. But I guess it's just how I cope. But we get there, and I just remember the truck was parked in front of the camper, and the coroner was there, and everyone was just gathered around, his friends, my family, and the police and everything else, and I guess I just kind of went numb. I just remember walking up to the truck and I see my dad just kind of with his head down a little bit, just sitting up in the truck in his driver's side. And I was like, I wanted to really badly. I really wanted to go over there and hug him and say, Dad, wake up. And as soon as my mom started crying and trying to shake him awake, and not hard, but just kind of like, hey, get up. I just knew there was no way he was coming back, and he was actually gone. I'm just so, I don't know, I'm so devastated, and I'm so hurt. I don't know where to go from here, because it still hurts every day. And it's been a couple weeks, but it just makes me so sick thinking of it. And it hurts. So, we finally get the call from the coroner's office. And I'll spare you the details of the whole funeral process and everything else. But, we go there to the funeral place and we get everything kind of situated. And the coroner calls my mom and says, and we kind of already figured this out. We kind of already knew because my uncle, he was there with them. He said that my dad was throwing up. He was hot and cold and just complaining that he was just sick, and he's never sick. He never wants to not go to work. He always wants to go to work. My dad was a hard worker. He was such a hard worker. And that's why I really admired him so much, because he worked a lot. He worked so hard for everything. And he worked. And he told my uncle, he said, I don't want to go to a hospital. I just want to go home. And he had his bags packed for the weekend. And he wanted to go home. And my uncle said, I don't know, he said he tried to get him to go to the hospital, but he wouldn't get in the car with him. He said, I just want to go home. And so that he started up the truck. My uncle was talking to him, and my uncle is his twin, and it's really hit him and my brothers really hard. I've tried to stay so strong, but it's so hard. But everyone is so affected. He said that he was talking to Dad, and he said he walked in to go get a soda to bring back so my dad could at least have something to drink, so he wasn't just throwing up and not getting stuff back in his system. He said it was only 3 minutes. He said he was talking to him. He goes inside the camper, he gets a soda, he comes back out, and he was gone. And I don't understand why. I don't get it. I don't think I want to get it, maybe, but I don't understand why it had to be my dad. And I know that sounds really selfish, but because a lot of people have lost someone this year, probably multiple people like I have, and I just had to take a break for a second because I couldn't stop crying. But I'm back. So I don't want to dwell too much on my father's passing, but I just want everyone to know how deeply I truly loved him, and I just miss him so much, and how just so important of a person he was to me. He is literally the reason I've done everything in my life. He's the reason that I'm gonna start crying again. He's the reason I joined the Army, and I wanted to do all the hard work and all the work that I've done in my life. And he's the reason that I got a job so early in life, because I wanted to be able to provide for myself, and be a strong person. I mean, he's the reason I've been a strong person all my life. And I think that because he's gone, I just feel a little bit weaker because I don't have that backbone kind of backing me. And I'm not a religious person, but I think this whole year has kind of made me like really want to like pray and everything. But I still don't believe in praying works. I would like to imagine that when I pray, I'm actually talking to my dad, and that he's with me. So I every time I talk about my dad, I just start crying, even if it's a funny story. But I do have a funny story for you guys, so just bear with me. So besides that, my dad is buried, and we're getting him a headstone, but they won't have it ready until about July. So there's that. It's been so hard on us. It's been so hard on my family and me and just everyone. His friends have taken it the worst, I think. Just from what I've seen, because they work with him, that's their job. Their job is hard. It really is hard. The lifestyle is just hard. And I've always wanted to be a welder. And I feel like now I don't have someone to be a welder with. You know what I mean? I thought that when I get back from doing my Army stuff, because I am being deployed, Surprise. I've known about this for a while. I'm being deployed, and I won't say where. I thought as soon as I get back, as soon as I get out of the army, I can go work with my dad and be a welder. I've always wanted to work with my dad. I've always wanted to be a welder with my dad, because I've always loved traveling with him. Traveling meant the world to me, because it meant that I got to see my dad, and we got to do things, and I really wish I would have got more pictures and videos. I really wish I would have got more videos of him, because hearing his voice is like the only thing that really, like, I don't know, it's like, I just miss him, and it kind of helps. But yeah, I'm trying really hard not to cry, because we don't need to be crying. He would not have wanted me to be crying all the time, but you know, everyone knows I cry, so. And I also, we have a guinea pig. We had a guinea pig. His name was Willie. At first it was Charisma, but then it was a boy. We found out it was a boy. Then we named it Chris after my dad. But he didn't like that. He didn't want a guinea pig named after him. So he said, Willie! And the guinea pig, beep, 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 beep. They made the noise. And because they squeak. So his name became Willie. My dad loved that guinea pig. I think that was really my dad's guinea pig. But yeah. He passed away, I think because of stress, the grieving. Animals, I really do think, can feel the grief and the sadness. And I think that was just too much for him to handle. So I would like to think that my dad is up in heaven, with Molly and Willie. And they're all just happy, and that's it. This has been the worst month. This has been the worst year of my life. And I hate it so much. I think my whole view on October has changed. I went trick-or-treating with my friend and her cousin, her little 3-year-old cousin. He wanted to be Marshall from Paw Patrol. He wanted to be a firefighter puppy. And I did his makeup. And I was a clown because this year's been a joke. And we went to this town next to ours, a little bit of ways. And they're famous for all their big stuff. And they have a candy store. And they have a bunch of, like, retro old candy. And I had braces when I was little. My dad told me, because I went to Real King and I was like, hey, I want to get some sugar daddies, because I loved sugar daddies as a kid. And this was kind of before they stopped making them. He was like, oh no, you can't eat those because you're braces. And I was like, that sucks. I wonder why. And he was like, well, they could pull the metal off. They could break your teeth. He said that he used to love sugar daddies, but he bit into one time and it chipped his tooth. He said, I got my tooth chipped and I don't eat sugar daddies anymore because they break your teeth. And I think that's why maybe now they don't have them in stores like they used to. And I was little, so I was like, there's no way a candy could chip your tooth. And I didn't believe him. And I had this stupid sucker. I was chewing it for like a good maybe 30 minutes or so. And as soon as we got in the car to leave to go to my friend's grandparents, I chipped my tooth. I chipped my bottom tooth, like right there, as if you guys could see that from here. But yeah, I chipped my tooth, and I told my mom, we were laughing about it, and she was like, I think that's actually exactly where your dad chipped his tooth, his bottom one. And I just feel like maybe that was dad kind of being like, I told you. But yeah. This has been the worst month. And then we're talking about my old dog. we're talking about if we want to cremate her or bury her. And I don't know what I'm going to do when she dies. I really want her to at least wait until January. And she's not doing bad. She's just on medication. But knowing my year, she probably will pass. And I'm trying to mentally prepare myself for that. And it's hard. I am mentally prepared for a lot of people close to me to pass away because of how old they are. And I've kind of tried to prepare myself for, like, if a friend or, like, someone that's younger in my family passed away. But I don't really think there's ever going to be truly a way to prepare for to prepare unless someone has, like, a terminal disease. And even then, it's like, when the time comes, it's still a shock. It's, like, terrible. And it's just awful. With all that being said, thanks for stopping by. Love you.